The shadow of the weary heart. Truth cuts the dark like a flaming dart. Voices rising strong to lift the call. This is the time we give it all.
Welcome to Patriots Prayer Network. I'm Lynne Scott Hagerman, where faith meets truth, fear has no place, and courage anchored in Christ leads the conversation. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a survivor of child trafficking and medical experimentation that occurred underground at a U.S.-based university medical center tied to declassified government MK Ultra programs. I'm the voice they tried to silence, and I am silent no more. Praise God. Today, I stand as an international award-winning human resource consultant, published author, marathoner, weightlifter, and living proof that restoration is possible in mind, body, and spirit. My calling is clear and unwavering. I'm to expose the darkness, elevate survivors and whistleblowers, reveal the truth, restore lives, and protect our little ones. This broadcast airs Tuesday through Friday and Sunday across all Patriots Prayer Network broadcast platforms at 2 o'clock Central Time. Please be sure to visit qgrit.org and sign up for our newsletter. That's God's aftercare plan for the little ones once they're rescued from above ground and below ground trafficking, as well as to help adults with any type of trauma. And please be sure to also visit liveyoungerwithlynne.com, where I'm an independent LifeWave distributor. LifeWave won Stem Cell Innovator of the Year award. They invested 10 years into stem cell research, our own stem cells, that resulted in over 70 patents and a simple drug-free patch. It is time to get healthy and stay healthy because we have work to do for such a time as this. And thank you all for your purchases because they help support my ministry. Now let's continue bringing everything into the light and presence of God. Today, I welcome back my good friend, Michael Jaco. He is a retired Navy SEAL with more than 24 years in naval special warfare, along with service in naval diving and salvage. He spent years supporting U.S. State Department and CIA operations in combat zones and high-risk environments all around the world. In total, Michael dedicated 35 years to serving our nation. And beyond his extraordinary military and intelligence background, he's become a trusted voice in the truther community, sharing his insights on current events, faith, and emerging technologies. On a personal note, Michael and Tracy Joe are dear friends and mentors of mine in LifeWave and have been a tremendous blessing to so many people through their leadership and encouragement and willingness to help others. And today I want to welcome back Michael. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you again, Lynn.
Yes. So current events, there is a lot going on. I mean, a lot. And you have a way of cutting through the noise and cutting through all of the distractions and helping us focus on what's really important today and where you see things going. So whatever you'd like to talk about, I'm grateful.
Yeah. So the latest, stuff with the Iran crisis. Seems like everything's settling down. I think there's still some problems there. I just listened to a former CIA analyst that I've followed for quite some time. He knows several people that I know as well. But he said that Iran actually, and I said this as well, I thought this, that Iran already has a nuke. And so that's one of the reasons why we've backed off, I believe. So where does that go from here? Do they actually set off a nuke? underground as Pakistanis. I guess he's got some contacts with Pakistanis. I spent a lot of time in Pakistan. So the Pakistanis are saying that Iran plans to do an underground explosion instead of having a above ground,
Yeah.
mushroom cloud. They're going to do one underground, and the seismicity from that will be obvious that they have nukes now. So when we went in and we started striking Iran, we stopped about 2 weeks early, as far as like how many targets the military had to take out.
Yeah.
We stopped 2 weeks early. There was talk that there was going to be a regime change. Took out a lot of the top people in the former regime, I guess we could call it. But they have ways, as I've seen, over my 35 years of fighting terrorists and so forth, because this is a terrorist. This is literally a terrorist government. So,
Yeah.
they've pushed that around the world, especially in the Middle East. So I had to go against them quite a few areas in the Middle East because they fund a lot of the terrorism that happens there. Now I think that they are funded on a larger scale by Europeans. So we know that Europe and a lot of our allies, are not on board with us. We're going after Iran. Why was that? Because they were going and are going to, I believe, use Iran to control the world through nukes. So it's going to be challenging going forward. So I think that we're going to see multiple challenges over the next several weeks, months, uh, heading up into the election. So another thing that we need to watch is the Save America Act, which I don't think is going to be passed because the rhinos and the Democrats, if the Save America Act gets passed, then they're gone. We'll vote them out. So they can't have that go. So they're going to fight that all the way through, and they're going to make President Trump, look bad all the way up until the election. So probably some executive orders are going to be passed by President Trump. So that's that, and then we're going to probably start to see arrests. Now, the reason why we haven't seen arrest at this point,
Yeah.
because there's a counter to everything that we do against them. So we're at war with them. They have capabilities. Obviously, they've been using them against us for quite some time. We saw that with the bioweapon war that we just went through with COVID. We saw it again more recently with the election fraud that's happening in California. So we're seeing them replace all of our mayors in most of our major cities with communists. So that's part of their agenda. So they're going to do this. They really have a communist mayor in LA, but they're going to go, I think, even further. Just like we saw with New York and Seattle, there's two communist mayors in those major cities. Those cities, as we know, will probably and are, as we speak, falling apart. But that is what they want to do. They want to destroy America, and they rebuild it in their image of what they want, and that's complete, domination and control of our society on a massive scale. As if we're not, controlled it, currently. They want to take it to another level again, and then again, and again, and again. So that's what we're up against. Now, a lot of people think that, because you're at war, that means there's kinetic activity, because that's what we see with war. But that's not what we're seeing here in the United States and in Europe and other places. We're seeing governments getting taken over, because normally when you do a kinetic war, your goal is to take over the government of that country. They have learned to take over our governments without kinetic activity. So so I outlined some of it, of course, with Joe Biden having been in office. That was a major movement where they allowed our replacements on a massive scale to come in. So illegal immigration, flooded into our country. With that coming in, one of the goals of a communist takeover is to make everybody dependent on the system. So they couldn't make us, United States citizens, dependent on the government fast enough. They were doing a pretty good job of it, of course, with a lot of programs that are out there. But they needed to speed the process up. So they brought in legal immigration on a massive scale. 20, 30 million people came into our country over a 4-year period. That process was already going on under Obama, and they wanted to continue it under Clinton, but it got stopped, fortunately, by President Donald Trump. And now he stopped it again. So they're in a desperation mode to basically, accelerate this process. So part of that process will be to cause conflict, like we're seeing that seems to be heating up rather than being, we see a peace agreement. It's not really a peace agreement. It's basically a stalling until we get, I guess, better positioning, or maybe they'll push it beyond the election, so that we make sure that we have the right people in position, because they cannot do what they're doing to us if we have good people in positions of leadership, in office, in political positions. So they've known that for a long time. Obviously, that's their intention, to put people in there that will allow, like unfortunately you went through, child trafficking and so forth, which is on a massive scale. Now, going even deeper again, we're seeing a lot of activity coming off the sun. Now, normally, when plasma and electrical energy comes off the sun, that would, raise our consciousness, which, for many of us, it is doing that. But in some certain areas, because the consciousness has been, compromised, and MK Ultra is at a high level, then when these energies come in, it causes a negative effect, like earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. So I think that we're going to see an uptick in those, because we're not seeing the consciousness of certain areas raise enough to counter those massive energies that are coming in. And instead of everybody lifting in consciousness, those that are in places like California that are allowing these people to come into power, and allowing children to be trafficked and, barbarized, really, on a scale that's quite unimaginable. We can talk about it, but we can't imagine it if we've never seen it or gone through it. On a certain level can give us information about that, and that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
But as you know, there's far greater things are happening. So in California, it's happening on a massive scale, because you have the political elite there that run those programs, benefit from those programs. They're horrific, and the people that are there are not rising up. They're allowing it to go through and to happen, instead of like taking to the streets and saying, we're not leaving the streets until you guys are gone, like we've seen in a lot of countries over time. Californians are allowing it. So that's when you allow negative energies in a certain area, then you allow negative repercussions. And that's what I believe is going to happen with California. We just had a 5.6 quake in Northern California. That was the largest one, second largest one in recorded history. So we're seeing an increase in earthquake activity along the coast and off the coast, where tsunamis could unfortunately eventuate from. So that's probably what we're going to see in California, and it's going to be tragic. But these are things we're going to start to see over the next several months, because of this increase in energies. The energies are going to increase, and if we're not on a level as a people across the board that we can absorb these energies and go higher with them, then they turn out to be a negative, and that's what we're going to see. So, increase in earthquake activity and so forth. Probably see a fake alien invasion. That's very strong possibility, because I think that we have good ET brothers and sisters out there trying to help us, and the negative ones are trying to impose their will on us like they have for a very long time, and keep us dumbed down and controlled and so forth. So we've seen, like the great flood that we read about in the Bible. I believe that was a point where consciousness had a chance to upgrade, and unfortunately it wasn't at that level, so the earth got destroyed. So we're coming into that again. Now I think it's going to be isolated with the earth instructions, because there's enough of us now that are high vibration, high consciousness. Will move into areas where we'll survive, and there will be a greater number of us than any time in the past. But that is some of the things I see. Quite a lot on the plate, I know. not there is positive.
Please, Michael.
We are moving into a golden age. There's no question about that.
Yeah, that is a lot. I have to say, I'm over here.
I have a lot more, but that's enough.
So you have even more. Yeah, I'm sitting here taking notes while I'm, thinking of all my follow-up questions. But your information keeps coming and coming and coming. That is a lot. No wonder people can feel so overwhelmed right now, because there's so much coming at us. So you said there's even more. I mean, I can't stop you now. So what else?
So the other things are, if we do not have a good election, which at this point we will not have a good election. The Democrats and the rhinos will win in the midterm, and they'll put a lot of pressure, just like they did in his first term when he lost in the in the midterm. He lost in the midterm because they went up against him, because he's like I don't know. We have to look back in history. Who is he similar to? You could look at Moses. So leading the the Jewish people, and it wasn't, a lot of people just think it was the Jews. It was also a lot of the Egyptians that saw the problems with their society. So they left with Moses as well. So that's kind of what Trump is doing. He's leading us away from this corrupt group. Will we have, like I think what they went through, biblical type of things that happen? I think Egypt, that was where Egypt basically collapsed on a massive scale, because there were massive earthquakes and geological events that happen. You can see that they happen around the world. There's evidence of that in a lot of text, not just from the Bible, but also from around the world. There's people that talk about floods and all kind of crazy stuff. So this was a period that humanity went through as consciousness had the opportunity to rise, but a lot of people want to not do anything. Just let the old system continue to control and manipulate, and then some people broke free. So that's where we're at right now. So I don't think that we're going to have a good election at this point, unfortunately, because I don't think there's enough that's been done. Even if President Trump does an executive order, there's going to be a lot of states, like we saw and we see right now in California, although we pointed out there, have done election fraud, nothing is happening. Right. So,
right.
And who knows, maybe it will. Maybe the 2020 election steal gets revealed. Maybe some people get arrested. But again, if you start the arrest process, then there will be a massive repercussion for that. And we know that these they have directed energy weapons, HARP, and so forth. They can cause earthquakes. They can know where earthquakes are happening and kick them off even more. We're seeing the biggest typhoons in history right now that are swinging around in the Pacific right now, and the weight of those storms can cause earthquakes. And one of those storms, one of the typhoons that's right now moving towards Japan, is going to move over a fault area. So we could see a lot of so there's more. There's a lot more.
I'm holding on. I've got my seatbelt on right now, Michael.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we do. We just fasten our seatbelts.
Yep.
There's lots of turbulence, so
yep.
and it's going to get a lot of shaky. But in the end, we land, and we're all good. But how long will the shaking, literally and figuratively, go on? I think it's going to go on for several more years.
Whenever you talked about arrests, I want to, because I could have a million questions. When you
Mhm.
talk about the arrest, you think that there, and I know you've talked on some of your shows about this recently too, you think there will be some arrests? And if so, will that help in any of these other areas or?
Well, there Fauci looks like he's about to go. Looks like they're going to sacrifice Fauci to us, to the good side. And will that be enough? No, of course it won't be enough. That'll be the beginning. But they want us to, like, okay, we're going to give you something. That's it. We're going to give you Fauci, and so that should be like a tsunami back at them of this fraud that was pushed upon the world. We've know that there's millions and millions of people that died from the COVID virus that they created, that Fauci and his team created
Yeah,
in the Wuhan laboratories. Gain of function, and then that gain of function escaped.
yeah, I know.
Oh, it's from a bat in a a market, and somebody ate the bat, and then everybody got sick. So that lie was disclosed. I disclosed these lies very early on.
Yeah, you
I saw
did.
right through it. And so, will we have more of that? I think we're not done with bioweapons. So more bioweapons are coming. Ebola is really flaring, and they're building the narrative for that. Some people have left. I don't know how they were able to leave, but there's two people in Israel that are sick, and so now who do they get? Who they're in contact with? And this is one of those Ebola. Usually, Ebola is you have to have direct contact. Wow, this one you don't have to. So
Imagine that.
this latest one that just evolved, you don't have to have direct contact. So we've seen that. We've seen some other ones that they have out there floating around. So I don't see how it's going to be stopped. I mean, Fauci, yeah, you take out Fauci, but he's just a figurehead and a
Right.
much larger program, and it's spread out. You have doctors and nurses and hospitals and so forth that were in on killing the hospitals around the country and around the world were we should turn them murder hospitals because the people that died in those hospitals, so that they could get the death rate up, so
Yeah.
they could get the vaccination, which is transforming humanity. A lot of people are having issues from that, and we're having issues, and we talked about this as well from the shedding from people that have that vaccination. So those of us that were healthy and so forth, we're getting that on us. So it's a constant fight for cleansing your body. We promote the LifeWave, and that's helped a lot of people. But there's a lot of people that don't even know about LifeWave, have no idea. So there's lots of things that we can talk about as far as like what that can help with, and maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. But again, the massive assault on humanity has not stopped. You haven't seen these people go to jail. So the 2030 project that they have, it was 2021,
Yeah.
and thanks to Trump, that got stopped out. But so they pushed it to 2030. So we're on the Titanic, and it's leaking, right? We already like hit the iceberg, and we're slowly stalling, and we're moving towards 2030, where their plans are that they have complete control over us, just like they had planned for 2021, but it didn't quite pan out, because we've seen Europe, we're seeing China, and we're seeing Hong Kong and a lot of areas, Japan, for most part, they have not recovered from COVID-19. So their economies are still, suppressed and still undergoing, problems and so forth. Although the stock market, everybody looks at the stock market and they're like, well, the stock market's going up, so I guess everything's good. It's like all the money is going to the stock market. It's flowing out from everything else. So money seeks, it wants to go. It wants to be in something that goes up. So the stock market is the last thing. Now, last few days, stock market has hit all-time highs again.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but like the S&P 500 hasn't hit all-time high, so it didn't. And that's the one you really watch. So when that didn't hit an all-time high like the Nasdaq and the Dow did, and some of the other stock markets, I think the Russell and maybe some other ones, but they hit all-time highs again. But the S&P 500 did not confirm. So that was a big red flag. So we're starting to see a little bit pullback. We're seeing, the cabals that control the money. They're really leaning hard on silver because a lot of us have gotten silver.
Right.
And, so they're leaning hard in that. So a lot of people are panicking. There's a panic in the market right now in some of the precious metals. It's not time to panic ever in precious metals, especially during this time frame where you're seeing housing prices are collapsing all across the United States and the world. So that money's leaving and it's going into the last place where we're going to see money create money, or fiat money create, because they're like, there's so much debt out there. It's more debt now there's ever been in any time in history. And when you have debt markets, basically they're funding this stock market bubble, this AI bubble, and so forth. At some point, just like we've seen in the past, 1929, 2000, the dot-com bust, and of course 2008, 2009, the Great Recession. All right, it should have been a Great Depression, but they stopped it because they pumped a lot of money into and plugged that hole in the Titanic. So it could last a little bit longer, and they can make a little bit more money off of us and control us a little bit more, to the point where they can finally go, okay, we're all off. We're all in our lifeboats. The ones that we want to go down with the ship, they're on it. So let's pull the plug, right? So that's kind of where we're headed at 2030. They want to completely control us financially, and otherwise it's like they've already made the statement, you'll own nothing and like it. And we're like, how arrogant is that? Yeah, it's arrogant to the point where they know that's where it's going. We have to really fight hard. Of course, President Trump, like Moses, they tried to fight Moses, and he's out there fighting for us. But there's a lot of people. It seems like a lot of people are turning on him. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. They used to be like, the MAGA favorites.
Yeah.
And now Tucker Carlson's like, I'll never vote Republican again. It's like, oh, so I've been saying this for a long time that he's a turncoat, and here we go. So it's, do I like being seeing things in the future and talking about it and get hammered by people? I don't like that, but it's kind of like you and I both are. We're here. God has a mission for us, and we're trying to fulfill it the best we can, and that's part of the rundown. So let's stop there. That's enough for people to absorb. I hope everybody took notes and are kind of have an idea of things that are, unfortunately, because we have. So as a remote viewer, I look at I can see lots of different things that are coming, and those are all very prominent on a timeline. But again, just like Moses, changed history. Will President Trump be able to change history? If enough of us get on board, yes. Will we have to, will the Red Sea have to part for us to survive? I don't think so. I don't think we're at that level. I think that we're at a level where we're far above that, and we're going to raise conscious, and we have raised consciousness, and we're going to continue to raise consciousness for the most of us, that we're going to make a massive, difference. So this a massive worldwide event of like a flood or something like that is not going to happen this time because enough of us have woken.
That was my next thought that I wanted to take us to, because it is a lot of information. And I know people now, so many more people are awake and they like action steps and action plans. And you're definitely a man of action, and that's how your mind thinks too.
Mm-hmm.
So what recommendations and thoughts do you have for us to prepare for what's coming? Both, mentally, spiritually, physically, what do you see?
Yeah, that's good. Great question. So mentally, you have to be able to observe. You can't get hooked because so many people will observe something that's very chaotic or challenging or fearful or whatever, and they'll get stuck in that. So you have to be able to see those things and observe them dispassionately, which is very, very tough for a lot of people, as we know. For I would say 70% of humanity is pretty much will go with if there's a lot of people in fear and running for their lives, they're going to like just run. I don't know where we're going, but everybody's running. I'm out too. So,
Exactly.
whereas all they had to do is like, go to the side, just walk a few steps to the side and everything's fine. And then the tsunami that's going to takes everybody out, and you're like watching it go by. So that's kind of the way you have to be. You have to learn as something very traumatic or emotional comes at you. You have to learn to stay soft, stay loving, and just let it go through you. If it starts to connect with you, just let it go, because you you might not. I've seen this over time. I've talked about how people don't survive in certain situations because they get hooked on anger or fear or whatever. We're seeing more and more of that is going to start to happen for the rest of humanity. Like the bioweapon attack, it was an attack. It's warfare, and a lot of people didn't do well with that.
No, they didn't. That was exactly what I was thinking when you
You know,
said observe and respond dispassionately. I sat there and I thought about COVID. When you said no fear, people fell into fear. They did things that they never would have done otherwise, and a lot of people lost that battle. And we can't afford that again as humanity, to go down that path, because we've lost too many people.
well, you say we can't afford to do that, but it will happen, and it's already happening. We can't save everyone. And it's like just like the Titanic, they couldn't save everyone. They just saved chosen people, really. And we don't want to have chosen people saved. We want to have our chosen people saved. Right? So our chosen people go forward, and we'll take as many people, because we have a lot of life rafts, right? And in fact, the Titanic, they sent people off, and they could have put a lot more people on those lifeboats.
Yeah, they
They
could
sent
have.
them off on purpose because they were going to kill a lot of people, and because they need to make a statement, make it, oh my God, and we didn't know the full story about the Titanic, how it went down and why it went down for decades and decades and decades later.
That's right.
So and then they decide, okay, let's tell them now. It's like everybody's dead that can make a difference, so let's just tell them what happened. So that's the way things normally work, but we have to learn to work together, like you and I,
Yes.
trying to form people, and we know that a lot of people resist. You don't have to get like you're fear mongering. No, I'm just informing. Period. Fear is something that you decide whether you're going to slip into or not. I'm just giving you information to observe again, observe, and make hopefully good choices. Unfortunately, a lot of people that make good choices on the COVID vaccination. 70% in the United States, and a lot of places around the world, like Israel, 90% of people got vaccinated. They didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
They didn't have a choice. So if you're allowing a government to exist in your area, they're going to do very bad things. And California is completely controlled, almost totally with bad people. Just as an example, New York is very close. Illinois is very close to complete. Michigan, on it, Washington State, Oregon State. So people have just allowed it to happen. And when you allow evil people to have power over you, what do you think is going to happen? So it's very, very easy to see that there's going to be more of this going forward. And what is it going to be? Is it going to be more direct-to-injury weapon attacks? Yes, because we haven't taken care of that. Is it going to be more bioweapon attacks? Yes, because we haven't taken care of that. Is it going to be a fake alien invasion? Like I said, possibly. I don't know. But it sounds like it's lining up for that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So so here we are. We're telling you these things are coming, and how you react to them is up to you. You can be dispassionate and observe and work your way through that and work around that tsunami that's coming for whatever. Because I don't think it's just one tsunami. I think it's going to be earthquake after earthquake after earthquake, literally, in some cases, and then tsunami after volcanic explosion. It's like on and on and on. So we're in that time. We're in that period of history of the earth where these things happen, and it's mainly because of our consciousness. We raise our consciousness, or we get destroyed, and or both. And I think this time is going to be both.
So, what are your recommendations on raising our consciousness? Because that's clearly a key. And I'm not sure people even fully understand what that means and what that entails and how they can make a difference. Because otherwise, I can sense now in the spirit, people trying not to be afraid, but still taking action is a really good way of keeping that at bay if they have. So, how can everyone participate in that?
Like what we're talking about right here. We'll see how many views this gets. We'll see how much this gets shared, because this is a monumental share. This is from spirit.
Yes.
When I speak, like when you and I speak, I'm letting it come through.
Yes, me too.
And this is not Michael Jaco, fear mongering. This is spirit communicating to you. So a lot of people will notice that, and they're like, they have things built within them, consciousness wise, MK Ultra and so forth, that will turn them off and make them angry, and they'll click it off and go away, and they won't share it because it's like they want to be involved in it at all, because something gets triggered in them. Well, how can anything get triggered in you? Like when I did hand-to-hand training, and when I taught hand-to-hand, if you got injured during hand-to-hand fighting or combat or whatever, you can't go, oh wow, and go, you're in fighting for your life. We're all fighting for our lives,
Yeah.
all of us. And if you get a little hurt, emotionally because of something that you're not aware that's been programmed into you, that turns you off and makes you angry and fearful because something is being shared with you. How many times we have to keep talking about COVID?
True.
I came out and I told everybody, we're going to be masking, and I had a mask on. I went into a grocery store. We're going to be masking, and I got so much hate from that. And then a few weeks later, everybody was masking. So you can go into a negativity, but it's on you. Spirit and so forth is trying to inform you, and like I said, I'm just a messenger. I just allow this stuff to come through me, and I get a lot of heat for it. But I'm like, well, God takes care of me, and He wants to take care of other people. Allow this information to come through, and don't get stuck on anything. So if you feel something is bothering you about what I'm talking about, calm down, right, and pay attention to what that is, what's going on in you, because nothing that I'm talking about, nothing that I'm saying should bother anybody. It's like, oh, if you want, you can go, oh yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Maybe a little bit of that. And then you do a little research and you're like, oh my God. And then something happens that I've been putting out and you're like, oh, what, I got to go back and watch that program. So whatever they were talking about it's all happening now. And that's what happened during COVID. So I was talking about a lot of this stuff and I didn't get a lot of views at first. And then I got a lot of views when everybody was seeing that everything he's been saying. He said 2 weeks ago that in 2 weeks, this many people would be dead on their list because I could look into the future and see what they were doing in the list. Did those people really die? So no, a lot of those people died from something else completely, but they put them on a list. So I saw that list and I knew that list was going to like make people scared and fearful. And I was like, don't go there. Don't let it make you fearful. So again, you have to work together with other people, like what we're doing here.
Yes.
And this is not easy. We got a lot of times negative feedback, but then also we get a lot of people that are very, very appreciative, and
Yes.
we thank you and we appreciate that, your love and your support, because that makes a difference. That's God speaking through you sometimes, I believe, to let us know that it's making an impact. Right. So
Agreed.
if you feel inspired to, make a comment, a positive comment, even a negative comment, you can make a negative comment, or you could say, "Oh, I don't believe this. You don't know about this, 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 this." And I'll be like, "Oh, no, those are good points." Or, "Well, here, look at this, look at this, look at this." And but I'll have people, because again, it's an MK Ultra thing where you get triggered and you attack. And I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just pointing stuff out. Why would you want to attack me? I see this all the time, where people attack me, and call me bad names and so forth. And I'm just like, dip, gone. But people come in occasionally. I don't see it that much anymore. It's like this can be a discussion, guys. If you don't understand, let's discuss it. Let's have a conversation here, like you and I are having, Lynn.
Exactly.
Imagine that Lynn and I are having a conversation with you. We're sitting down with you, right? So if you don't agree with something or you see a problem, occasionally, very rare now. In the beginning, I would get those and I would be like, oh, good. I get to inform somebody else and other people get to look at this and get informed. Very, very rare that happens now. Everyone is so polarized now. You're either for it or you're against it. It's like, wow, how did we ever get to that point? But that is part of the consciousness shift that we're going through. So you can get stuck. Like, I don't think a lot of people at this point will be watching this that are stuck. Those people that are still here that are watching are probably very, very well informed, or want to be informed, which is another great thing about doing these shows, because we're helping other people wake up. I remember when COVID hit, I probably woke up millions of people.
Yes, you
I
did.
had so many people, because there's only a certain percentage of people that will respond and say positive things. It's most of what you get is a negative, right? So when I see positive, I'm like, okay, multiply that by 10, right? So that many people out there are getting something positive from this. So I would get, people would have come up to me, or at least not necessarily come up to me. A lot of people have come up to me, and then some people make comments. It's like, you woke me up. You were the reason why I woke up, and I understand all the stuff that I do now about the system and how it's arrayed against us. So so we're fighting against the system, not all of it. President Trump, sometimes it may seem that he's against us, but he can go full on against the deep state. And how long do you think he's going to last? How long do you think that people will continue to support him that are in his administration? Because some of those people that, as we've seen over time, they get jettisoned because it's found out that they were infiltrators, kind of like a Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens and so forth. They're being jettisoned, but how much? There's still probably millions of people that follow Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, but they're as bad as they can be. They're part of the deep state trying to destroy the world. Right? So,
Exactly.
my opinion. And some people, I guess, obviously still have their own opinions. That's why they continue to follow them. So how long will that last? That people continue to follow them? I don't know. Maybe the numbers that we're seeing are manufactured. Maybe they don't have millions of followers. Maybe they only have 1 million. I don't know, or less. Who knows? But the likes that they get, are they real likes, or are they AI inspired likes? So
Excellent point.
yeah. So there's a lot of that's going on, and like sharing this video would be great, but AI is going to suppress this video big time,
Yes.
massively. So if you're like choosing to watch videos dependent upon the numbers of views that it has, this would probably the one that you're not going to watch. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope it gets lots of views, because that will be a great sign that there are there are a lot of awakened people, and or people that are interested in waking up, and or people that even if they're not awake and maybe get a little angry, they stay a little while, and they're like, something is telling them to stay, and they don't know what that is, but they continue to watch it even though they're angry and fearful and everything else. But maybe something is driving them forward, and that's a good sign too.
Well, which I think we agree that something is the Lord. So before our shows, every month when we do our shows, I always pray about the content, because I know that we're speaking to a lot of people, and we need to be helping. I mean, we're here to help humanity. That's why we're on this earth at this point in time. And when you said that Spirit was speaking through you before the show, I had Lynne's agenda of the things I wanted to talk about. And I just heard loud and clear, no, let Michael talk about current events. And I'm like, well, but I have this list that he's like, no, let Michael talk about current events, and just like let him go. And I had instructions like don't interrupt much, just let him talk, let it flow, and not knowing on your end that that's exactly what was going to start happening. So I have goosebumps now head to toe from this, and this is, I think, the perfect example of how people can remain out of fear and focus, because God's here to help us. He's here to guide and direct us. COVID, the example we've been using, those of us who worked through that was because we were listening and being obedient to what we heard to do and not do. Like, for example, you were outside a lot, which was a perfect place to be. Even though you didn't listen to the government say stay indoors, you went outside because you knew that that was the best thing. And there's a scripture in Hosea that says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And that's what you're doing, is you're bringing knowledge so that we can be, that's the first step. We have to know what's coming, so that way then we can pray about, okay, what do I do? What do I not do? Where do I go? Where do I not go? And that's how we survive and can thrive during these situations.
Yeah, definitely. So I just pulled it up over on my YouTube. So the numbers of watching are low. So probably not going to be a big one. But this is of all the shows that I would like recommend, because they have a lot of really amazing guests on and so forth. This would be the one where I would be like, you need to watch this one. Right?
Yes.
So because the numbers are low, who knows? Maybe they'll pick up. Maybe it, like we talked about, is being suppressed right now. So I don't know, but it is disheartening to see when I normally do a show. There's like upwards of 1,000, sometimes a couple thousand people watching. There's like 472 watching right now. So there is issues, I think, with humanity, and not everybody. So there's 473 watching right now that are like totally tapped in, and
Exactly.
and maybe there's going to be more in the future. Well, there definitely will be more. Maybe not on YouTube, but I'll share this over on Rumble, and Rumble seems to be still allowing this type of information to get out there. Although the numbers on Rumble, it's not a worldwide platform like YouTube is. Rumble is heavily suppressed in I think France and other European nations and so forth. So Um, you can bring the horse to water, but you can't make it drink type thing. So I think this is once again when the when it hits the fan, right? Then people are going to be like, okay, who's the people that inform us when everything hits the fan? So I don't know, maybe they'll come then. I would say it doesn't have to hit the fan. Like I've been saying, COVID didn't have to hit the fan.
It did not. You're right. It really didn't.
Mm-mm. And so whatever's because they're not going to do another bioweapon attack like they did COVID, guys. So you're thinking, oh, I've got it this time. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do the same thing to me. I'm not going to mask it. I'm going to go outside like Mike did, and right from the beginning. And so it's not going to be the same uh, because I know the way these people think. They're very creative at ways to destroy us because they know the way we think. So they've had thousands of years to figure it out. So they're going to come in with some other type of event. Maybe it's the uh, you know fake alien invasion. That's something no one's ever physically seen. And when you physically see these crazy aircraft potentially coming in, and you see ray guns like burning through cities, and you can see it like burning through cities and people dying and stuff. Uh, and then the bioweapon comes, and you're like, they spread it that the aliens dropped a bioweapon on everybody. So you could potentially have, like I believe is going to happen. You can have but multiple events that are coming, and if you're not uh, tapped in and taking the type of advice we're trying to give people right now, it's probably going to have a major impact on a lot of people. So.
When you were talking about Moses and people leaving Egypt, the rabbis have done historical studies on that. And many of the rabbis say that only 20% of the Jews left Egypt because
Sure.
the rest loved their captivity. They loved their captors. They loved being slaves. They loved being fed. They knew that they were, beaten and had to work too hard, but they were willing to stay in the system, and that actually only 20% left. And that shocks people every time I share that. But that's the historical records that the rabbis talk about. It's very well known to them. And I find that fascinating and wonder about where we are too.
Yeah, and you could look at that time period. Akhenaten and Nefertiti, they started a brand new city, and they broke away from the control system, the multiple gods, and so forth, and they did the one God. And uh, there's biblical phrases that are in the Bible that come from that time frame, and it's very very interesting. Now, it was the the clergy at that time basically regained power, and they came in and completely destroyed that city, and almost completely erased it from everything, destroyed everything, and it was a massive city. Uh, they were they were very wealthy. They took all the wealth that had been going to the church, the corrupt institutions and so forth, and they built this beautiful city. It was supposed to be for the people. Now, a lot of the Jews that broke away went to that city, and when that city was destroyed and they were taken back into captivity, that's when Moses came in, because Moses had been out in the wilderness for a long time,
Yeah.
and he was told to go back
Yeah.
and rescue the people.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's a very good point. Again, there was only a certain percentage of people that decided to leave because they love their captors, just like a lot of people throughout Europe and here in America. They love their captors, and they're not going to, they're not going to rise up in California. They love their captors, evidently.
Made me think
And same thing in New York City, and Seattle, and Portland, and you name the city that's been captured. There's quite a few. We can look back in time and look at captured cities like Detroit, which is completely, destroyed. So it'll be that way, unfortunately, I believe, for a lot of these cities. We've talked about this in the past, where there'll be 12 to 14 cities that will be destroyed. And so that's, I think LA is obviously one of those. San Francisco's probably up there. Chicago, New York City, Seattle, Portland, all the cities that are really, captured operations right now. How are they not going to be destroyed? Because they've been completely captured. They're not going to give those cities up. They're going to fight to the end.
You've been telling people to leave those cities for quite a while now.
Yeah. Well, it's becoming more and more obvious now, but still, you have people that are benefiting from that. They don't realize yet that they should have left with Moses, right? All those people, because
Exactly.
Egypt was destroyed. It was absolutely destroyed. They were able to come back to a certain extent, but nothing like it had been before. And it started with them, trying to take down a new system that was trying to be formulated, and I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a new system that's trying to be formulated of consciousness, not like a place. It's the place is within all of us. So when we, awaken, then that power within us is able to create and resist destruction and so forth, like we've been seeing throughout time. So that's where we're at. Some people will, just not come with us, and it's not like, well, that's their karma. No, it's just like you talk about, not throughout time. Now, will we see 30% of people, survive this time? I think it's going to be a higher percentage, actually, to survive. More than 50% of humanity will survive, I think, going forward. But there will be a lot of destruction. It, and you just look throughout history to these events that are, like we're coming up on, and all the people that are have great psychic abilities and can look forward into time. They're all coming forward and they're saying that we're moving into this massive change. Now, I'm one of the few that are telling everybody it's going to get ugly. So people don't want to hear it and they resist. But I want to know if I'm going into a combat zone and they have like some kind of like super high speed weapon. I don't want the people that are giving me intelligence to leave that out because maybe I won't go and fight. And then I go in and I don't know this is there and I get like hammered. My crew gets hammered. That would be really effed up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be like, because we're in war. I'm a warrior, but I'm also a spiritual, very spiritual, more spiritual now, I believe, than at any time in my life, and more leaning on the capabilities of the spiritual warrior side than the kinetic side, because I've been able to do a lot of very, very powerful spiritual warfare that I've talked about in my books and on shows and so forth. So that's really where the power is, where we have the spiritual, warfare side. And it's not like you're going in with as a, spirit, because I tried this. You can't go in and fight them with like, I'm going to kick their ass. I talked about that, and that's how Archangel Michael came in and said, well, we're gonna give you another shot at this, and you got to do this with love. So you have to come in with love, as a lot of people have heard, is the most powerful force in the universe.
Yes, it is.
So why wouldn't you use that? Because people are like, I can't love them. Well, then you're not using the most powerful force in the universe. It's not like you're loving them. It's God's love. It's God's love. So you're just tapping into God's energy, because we all can do that, and you're sending that God energy out there to defeat the enemy. So that's where, that's what they've done. When they, beat the drums and went around the walls of Jericho and they fell, they didn't have battery rams.
That's right.
They had drums, and they were like chanting, and that energy of the vibrational energy, the positive vibrational energy, brought those walls down. So that's one of the things that most people are like, oh, that's something from history that's made up. It's not real. We've been given this information over time, and now of all times is where it needs to be implemented, and implemented by more of us than at any time in history, because we're going through another cycle where the Earth basically responds to our vibrational frequencies, and if our vibrational frequencies are out of whack or negative, if you have child trafficking and you're adrenochroming children in your state, like they are in some of these states, you're going to see some problems. And if it's very prominent in certain cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, then you're going to see these cities destroyed.
That's right, as it should be. And I love your conversation about the spiritual, because that's something that you and I are deeply attuned to. And I know whenever I remote view and see things, it's the Lord showed me it's my opportunity. I call it pray it down, but it gives me an opportunity to try to change the future. And I believe that that's part of the reason why I've been gifted with the ability, is so that I can say, no, none of my watch. I do not allow that. And I start praying it down. And I know that by doing that, it will either sometimes eliminate it totally, but at a minimum, not make it as bad as it would have been. And so, I love that aspect. I love the power of prayer. You and I are able to see in the spirit world. So we actually see, demons and angels responding to the power of prayer, and the ability to command. I know I command angels, you fight with angels. And this is how we win, because it's a battle of good versus evil. And those are the tools, I think, in our toolbox that we have now to defeat this.
Yeah, and they're with us more than ever before. I think we're stronger. Humanity's stronger than any time in history. We're breaking free from a control system that's been here for over 10,000 years, since the fall of Atlantis. The fall of Atlantis was that flood, worldwide flood that happened. It was a chance that humanity had. They'd already been infiltrated, and it was a chance for humanity to raise a consciousness, but their consciousness had been compromised, and it was being taken down on a massive level, and the Earth responded. So
Right.
we're going to see the Earth is responding now, and it's going to respond on a certain level, probably in certain areas, but not on the worldwide scale that we've seen in the past. Of course, the negative types are going to try and push that, because they would like to see us like the Georgia Guidestones, only 500 million left, but there'll be a lot more left this time, because I think that a lot of people are here to witness and to raise their consciousness and continue forward. So that's the biggest problem that we have, convincing people that you can win. So a lot of people are just deciding it's just too tough, and they're checking out, or they're being impacted, and they're not using, like you're talking about, the spiritual warfare. Because it's interesting, because you said not on my watch. That's a military term. It's not going to happen on my watch. So there are many of us that are taking that I won't say militant, but spiritual, military
Yes.
type, warrior, spiritual
Yes.
warriors. So I mean, women have fought alongside men in many wars in history. So I think the Spartan women were highly trained, and they fought. The Spartans, their civilization, their culture lasted a long time. How long have we been here in America? Well, 250-year celebration. So
Yeah.
that's a drop in the bucket of time. So will we continue forward? Some people have seen that no, America doesn't continue forward, but I believe it will, and it may not be. It will not be. I'll say that it's not. It may not. It will not be in the capacity that we're seeing right now, because there's a lot of things that are compromising humanity, consciousness, children, and so forth. That's not going to be allowed to go forward. And those of us that are the spiritual warriors are going to make sure it doesn't go forward.
That's right. I say we're in an Ecclesiastes 3:3 time, a time to tear down and a time to build. And these evil systems have to go and godly systems have to be created. And I agree, the United States of America will stand because we're actually in covenant with God. We're the only nation in covenant with God. Our forefathers put us there. And covenant's very strong, and it's impossible to break covenant. And we do need to come out of this looking different because of what's happening now just can't stand. So I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, Michael. I knew whenever the Lord said, just let him go, let him go and let him talk about whatever he wanted to talk about, that, we were in for a ride, buckle in. But Jesus said, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. The truth is nothing to be afraid of. The truth is very empowering. And that's how we break out of the MK Ultra. And that's how we win, is by knowing this is what could happen and very likely will. And we need to pray about what our part is in order to protect ourselves, protect our loved ones, protect our nation, and do the very best that we can to come out of this on the other side victorious.
Very good. And there are tools for us, and I think that LifeWave is definitely one of the major tools that we could have at our disposal. The patches and the water machine, the solar jives, all those different things are helping a lot of people. And there's a lot of attacks on us. The bioweapon attack is, that COVID was just the beginning, and then of course the COVID shot was very devastating. And there are people that are still massively devastated from that. And then, of course, the shedding that's happening from people that are close to going. Some of them don't know that they're very close to going, but once you reach that point where you're getting close, and I see some of those people, it's like, it's sad. It's sad to see, but we try and help them. We try and get patches to them, and they say, I tried that. I'm like, you didn't try it long enough. So
isn't it amazing? That's how I even connected with you, is God had me start watching your shows. I'd never heard who you were before. And God had me start watching your shows, and you had David Schmidt on talking about how the patches would turn around those effects. And God said, I want you to buy that patch. I had no idea what it was and what it would do, but it's been astounding, for both of us. I mean, the physical changes are undeniable. And now, and all the many people that we're helping, it is God's gift to mankind. We say God's in the patches. And now we've got our X2O water, which is like, oh my goodness, taking us to a whole new level. Do you know I'm up to 109 wins in 70 days? 109 observable changes just from drinking water.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And on some levels, I think maybe I wouldn't be here without the water machine. So I think it's definitely helped a lot of us turn corners and stay healthy. And I would like to have everybody try it, but again, we could have the whole world try it, but there's those people, same thing, that just aren't going to listen. They just it worked for you, but it's not going to work for me. We have the same physicality. We're both human beings. We have red blood runs through our cells and cellular structures that can be compromised and so forth, but it won't work for me. All right. So it works for everybody. And we've seen it work for people. I can't absolutely claim that it's going to work for everybody, but We've seen it work for a lot of people that stay on it and those people that stay on it for a long period of time just start coming out with just, I didn't think it was working for me, but I had this. I'm never going to not stop. I'm never going to stop using this. So it's the same thing with the water machine and so forth. It's helped a lot of people that were not doing really well, myself included, and it just really helped us turn around and get healthy again. So the patches are great, but sometimes we need a little extra. I needed extra. So as you guys can probably imagine, a lot of us that do this type of work, they try and compromise us a lot more than average people. So there's all kind of stuff that comes at us. So we need extra, but those people that just kind of like just doing their own thing, it's amazing for them. Those people that like to get great or do get great results and want to share them, that's how we came together.
Yeah.
And that was God's gift, you coming in and working together, with my organization. So
Yes.
between the two of us, we, helped tremendous amounts of people. It's like 111 where I'm at right now. So it's like one of those angelic numbers. So
Yeah.
it's like a little sign there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't always watch the clock, but sometimes I get what time, and there it is. It's, oh, the angel. Thank you, angels. So it is a fantastic product. We don't do these shows just for the product. It's 95%, helping people,
Yeah.
and this information, and then we give like 5%, sometimes even less, of another product that could help you along the same lines of what we just talked about for over an hour. So that's incredible. I love it when people get involved. I love it when I hear from them, as you and I can attest.
Yes.
We've helped a lot of people on an unbelievable level, like a miraculous, godlike, angelic level. And I think that if people, I know if people get involved with the product, they'll have great results. Of course, again, in this environment that we're in, where they monitor and control information, we can't be open about this because a lot of people are like, "Why can't you just come out and say,
I know, Michael.
this?" Well, that's because, just like we've been talking about, there's a control system that does not want us to succeed in anything. They want to control us and make us slaves, just like we talked about in Moses' time.
Yeah.
So, of course, fortunately, we have a Moses-like person, President Trump. But you know that they can't. They're trying to attack him, trying to discredit him. Oh, your staff turns into a snake. Ours does too. We got and oh wow, your staff actually eats our snake. So that's what we're doing with LifeWave. They're throwing down their caduceus. It's a snake.
Yeah.
How about that? And it goes back to ancient times where there was manipulation with all that, and we've heard that the COVID thing that went in our arms had snake venom in it. How about that? And so there's a lot of things out there, guys, that some people just don't want to accept. And we're trying to help people. Like David Schmidt came out. I was stunned that he came out and just let it out.
I know, you did. Yeah.
This is going to help you.
Yeah.
And if you've been vaccinated
Yeah.
with COVID shot and you're having complications from it, and maybe you don't even know you're having complications from it. So, there is that going on. So again, I look at people, and I'm like, if you just got on the patch, and for some people it's too late, right? It just is. Because I know that some people are like they're like, I've tried everything that the doctors wanted me to do, and I'll try this. And they're like, on the deathbed.
Yeah.
It's a little too late, right? So you sometimes, because we've had some people like,
I was going to say,
we've had some people get up.
actually,
There are miracles out there. And I think a lot of that is kind of like what we're talking about. Some people don't let fear into their lives. even though they're massively compromised, even though a lot of stuff is coming at them, they stay focused. They still trust in God. I think
Yep.
that's fantastic, and people say prayers over these God's gifts to
Yes.
us, I believe, and they put them on, and it works miracles. Yeah, so it does happen.
Yes, I have a customer that every time she drinks a glass of X2O water, she prays for David Schmidt, the LifeWave employees, everyone who made the product and delivered it, you, me, all of our team. Yes. So before every glass, she prays for everyone for their safety and blessings. And I think that's beautiful. It's why we do what we do.
Oh, that's inspiration. I got to do that too. That's good.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Exactly. And of course, in turn, the water is really blessing her.
Yeah, it's a water of life, I believe, and it's we're all light beings, and it's literally infused with light, and we drink it, and it goes into our bodies, and it does miracles.
Yes,
for the most part. But who are we to say? Some people will look at it from the doctor's point of view, the medical community. That science is actually there. So a lot of people say, "Well, trust the science." Well, then you should be using this product. So, because
exactly.
the science is there. So some people are going to get involved, and some people aren't. Some people are going to get, when these events come, they're going to get, consciously compromised because, we've both had Kathy O'Brien on. I
Yes.
had one just recently.
Me too.
She talked about how they were going to, have a congressional hearing on the MK Ultra. What better person to have come testify than Kathy O'Brien?
Exactly.
Well, lo and behold, they shut that down because somebody went into the DNI's office, whoever that is. I don't know who it is because we heard it's like, somebody, but that person now seems to be, oh, my husband is sick, so I'm leaving. But on my way out, I'm going to do this. And I have the information. She just did a show just recently, and she kept slapping where she had this manual of all this stuff on the, Fauci. And I was like, what happened to all that other stuff on MK Ultra and JFK files and all that stuff?
That's
that
right.
Somebody came into your office and just walked out with that.
Yeah.
So there's so much compromised stuff going on out there. It's unbelievable, and some people just still believe that person is good. So I'm not gonna like hurt anybody's feelings by naming names, but it seems like some people don't like that either, because I've called a lot of people out, and then I get problems with that. So I'll just point out some things that have happened that are very suspect, and you guys can make your own assessment.
Exactly. And you pointed out quite a bit of truth today. I, for one, am very, very grateful. I, for one, actually did take notes while you were talking. So, and I'll probably listen to the show again because I want to make sure my notes are thorough to know what to do, to be able to pray moving forward, what to do. So what are your final thoughts as we close out the show, Michael?
Yeah, love is the strongest force in the universe. Surround yourself with love. Surround your loved ones with love. Even if they don't believe, it can help because maybe it will help them. I don't know. It's up to them. But it seems to work quite a bit, and you can send love to people that seem to be, in the way of our freedoms and so forth. I can tell you that a lot of those people that I've sent love to are no longer here, or no longer in positions of power, and literally no longer here.
Yeah.
So love, I can speak very, very positively about this, and give you lots of examples of how I've used that love, and it does work. So focus on that. It'll make a difference.
I agree. That's beautiful. Well, thank you again so much, Michael, for being on today.
Thanks, Lynne. Always a pleasure and an honor to come on with you because you're tapped into. I love it.
I do too. Thank you so much. And for everyone listening, until next time, this is Lynne Scott Hagerman, where truth is rising, and so are we. Praise God.
cuts the dark like a flaming dart. Voices rising strong to lift the call. This is